This is an absolutely wild storm. I don't know if you can see on camera, but the angle of the rain is 45 degrees. My drainage channel is working overtime. The garden's flooding as usual. The land next door is flooded as usual. And I can see the road out there. It's a river, but I'm not going to go up there and give you a close-up. It's been a couple of days now we've let this dry off. We had to really anyway, because the evening after we laid this CPAC base we had the massive storm, and everything got wet again. Yesterday there wasn't a great deal for us to do other than outside, and everything was too wet for that. So today is a Sunday. We're not going to get any CPAC delivered today, and we probably won't be able to order any today, but we're going to prepare these last two areas. And we want the CPAC to go down early in the morning because it takes longer to dry with the plastic. And we want to, there's a few dogs around here, we want to avoid them walking in the wet cement if it's been laid too late in the day to dry off. Something that bugs me about this country is the ants. They get everywhere, absolutely everywhere. You can build a 32-storey building and before you've finished it there's an ant's nest at the top. And we've got the same problem. I noticed this column here had ants going up it the other day, and I noticed also that joint there. There's a couple of holes in the steel which have been burnt through when they were welding, and the ants are already making their way inside and presumably making a nest inside the steel, which obviously is quite cool being under this brilliantly insulated roof. So I've got to start doing battle with them before we go any further. I've bought some powders and I've got some liquid which are designed for them to take back to the nest so that the nest actually dies. The white powder you can buy here just kills them on contact. It's no good for killing the actual nest. So these are the two products that I've got. The one on the right is a powder which I'm going to strategically place on top of posts in the hope that any ants that go up there will take it back to their nest. And the one on the left, the Bayer stuff, is a liquid which I'm going to use later because it tends to dry quite quickly. So I want to try the powder first and then keep the liquid for another time. So I just want to get a little bit of powder sprinkled around here, and I'll keep doing that every week. Put some in the crevices, hope it works. Also, we've got a couple of spiders hanging down from the roof. I don't know if you can see that. That's actually just caught a moth. And they obviously will be in the roof space. And I'm inclined to leave those be on the basis that anything that goes in the roof space flying wise would likely get caught up in their webs and eaten. So It may well keep the bugs down to a degree, although the loft space will gradually increase in its volume of spiders. Okay, I've been told it's not a good idea to leave the spiders in there. We'll take them out eventually when we get to the point of putting the ceiling on. We had a bit of CPAC leakage in the corner there, so we've got to chop that out so we can get the right levels and get enough CPAC in that corner. And we've just got to lower the level of the dirt slightly. I'm using the terminology "we" for doing things in the royal sense, because currently I've got extremely bad knees, which I've had for months, but they've taken a turn for the worse in the last couple of weeks, and I've really got to rest. I can't really bend, so I can walk, but I can't get down, sit up, climb easily, which is very frustrating. It's annoying me immensely. Well, this is an interesting experience as well. I'm standing in the garage now, the carport, and it's raining. It's not raining particularly heavily, but you can definitely hear the rain on the roof. However, when I'm standing in the house, you cannot hear anything on the roof. So once this house is built and there's a ceiling on the rooms, this roof will be as quiet as any. Maybe quieter because of the insulation level that's attached to it. So what we've got here is the preparations for the waste exit from the showers. So we've done the toilet. The waste of the toilet's going to go into this pit here, and then we need an exit for the basin and shower water. So what we're going to do is we're going to join the two pipes up into one, and it's going to exit down parallel with the house, and we're going to drill a hole in the wall at the far end, take it out into the field. Strangely, in this country, having inspection chambers where pipes join together is not very common. If they do want to have one, they make them on site. They don't. You can't buy the ready-made plastic ones that you can in the UK, for example. we were considering making a box here, but it's a bit complicated really, considering the chances of these pipes ever blocking up. They're only taking wastewater from the shower and the basins, and they are quite large, being 3 inches larger than I've seen in some places. The only thing that might get blocked up on a bend is something like a toothbrush going down in the shower, which hopefully won't happen because it's got a cover on it. But what we're going to do is we're going to build in a rodding place for each of these pipes. So we're going to have a joint like this, and then that will come up to earth level, so it won't need to come up very far, and it will stick up, I don't know, maybe 10 centimeters, and it will be capped off. But that will allow a good angle for a rod to go down to push any blockages back up into the shower area. And indeed, if there is something substantial, we can then reach down into the pipe from in there and clear it. So there'll be one on each pipe to provide a rodding access, and then the pipes will join together using this sort of joint as well, although it will be further down that way. And the plan is that rather than have a very sharp 90-degree bend to take the pipes further down into the ground, which they'll need to go slightly because of this waste pipe being in the way, doing it with 90-degree bends like that and then like that is quite efficient in terms of joints, but it gives very, very sharp bends which are liable to block more easily. So what I'm asking them to do is to use 45-degree bends like this. Gives a much better curve to the pipe, so it's less likely to block. And then we do the same here, 45 degrees there and there. So that's the theory behind that pipe work.